And I want to show one example of that today with Cedar Rust, because hopefully this will kind of get at the heart of why Mentor is designed the way that it is, and why the core system is still learned. But if you've heard some of my stuff, I'm a pretty staunch advocate of deterministic machine learning or deterministic machine programming as a foundational element for these systems. So we're going to take a look at Cedar Rust. Here we got Cedar Rust. And Cedar Rust, actually surprised T and I that they're, it's pretty good code, at least according to Mentor. And before I dive into this, I want to say Mentor's not perfect, right? Like, we're a small startup, and there's many things that we're working on. Mentor's going to miss lots of things, but it's a work in progress. What we've tried to do is have Mentor provide value and provide some of the properties that we think actually are important for software engineering. But full disclosure, again, we're a small startup, and this is just the beginning. But hopefully, after this podcast, you'll have a sense of why those beginnings, why those foundational things are so important, and also why those foundational things are absent from big tech and all of the language model systems. So in order to kind of demonstrate that, we need to go back here. And what we can see is that while the Cedar Rust started out with a pretty good score in this initial commit, and maybe this is no lines of code, it quickly kind of devolved into not super great. And T and I were talking about how this was a bit unusual. We had never really seen this type of thing before. We've seen the dip, as we saw in the last podcast, like with Git or Linux. That's really common in the beginning. But this big of a dip, like a 500-point dip or whatever this is, like that's a lot. But then they recover, right? Then they start to recover, and then they figure it out and they do better. And that's awesome. I mean, I think that's really cool. The other thing that's really interesting about this is they recover without any kind of conversations with us. So Mentor is just reporting the things that it finds using the lifetime analysis and saying, hey, yeah, back in whatever this date is, which we'll look at in a second, things weren't super great, but then they got better.